Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
All right, welcome to a special edition of Freed on Business. It's another edition of Freed on Weed. We've got my good friend, Dustin Robinson. He is Mr. Cannabis Law. He is the man, the myth, and the legend. And then, of course, we've got our good friend, Manny Johnson. Manny and I will be talking about our new hemp farm upstate in Florida. And then Manny is going to bring on Dr. David Blyweiss, who's going to be one of our partners. Dr. Blyweiss is going to help us create our designer nutraceuticals that you're all going to want to get well. So we're going to start the show with our thank you to Warren Henry Reagan. Let's rock it. All right, everybody. As you know, we're South Florida's longest running business talk show, been on since a long time, 2008. You're used to saying 20, something was 2008. And I want to thank our good friends at Warren Henry for being with us since 2012. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Warren. And especially thank you, Samantha. We love you all. We were there last Friday saying thank you. They were tremendous. What great hosts they are. You'll find out when you go there to get your new car, because when you're looking to lease or buy a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audis. Down in the Keys, they sell them all. That's where I'm going to get the Jeep for the farm, Manny. What do they all have in common? Well, they're all great cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry advantage. What does that? Well, that's complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement guarantee, purchase offer, best value guarantee, the 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 days to decide whether you like your Warren Henry vehicle. I've got news for you. You're going to love it. So join me, my mom, and my beautiful wife, Vivian, a whole bunch of friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price. Always the best price. Always the best service. Always Warren Henry. All right, love wins, love always wins when you're working with Jim. That's what our hemp farm is going to be all about. And remember, give me a call at 305-773-6300. Why? Because I can still solve your real estate problems too. Residential mortgages, we're doing a jumbo mortgage right now for one of the famous developers in town that I'm not allowed to mention. We're also doing great bridge loans on real estate that you drive by every day. And again, I just can't mention it. But if you give me a call, we'll talk all about it. 305-773-6300. Call me. Why? When you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we have got an all-star panel today. We're going to start off with Mr. Cannabis himself, Dustin Robinson. He is the cannabis attorney. We've also got Manny Johnson here, who's going to be my partner in the hemp farm, as well as Dr. David Blyweiss, making his first appearance. Dr. Blyweiss will talk all about his background and his addition to our team. He's another one of the partners at the hemp farm. But let's start out with Dustin. Dustin, let's talk a little bit about the Florida hemp law. Things have changed in the last few months. Can you tell me a little bit about what's going on?
Yeah, lots of exciting stuff. Obviously, the industry is doing some good stuff here in Florida, and we're just kind of getting our first crops off the ground. Past couple months, I mean, main thing that happened is the USDA came out with their final rule. Florida Department of Ag has really been working hard to kind of keep up with some of the changes they made. First, for example, in the interim rule, they had a 15-day testing window before harvest. So FDACs had to change their rule to match that. Now in their final rule, they're going to a 30-day window. So now FDACs will once again have to go and change their rules to match that as well. So lots of exciting stuff. I know we're also still waiting for inhalable rules to come forward. FDACs wasn't given the authority through the statute to regulate inhalables originally, and then there was an amendment to the statute that gave FDACs that authority, and FDACs has come out with their proposed rules, but they haven't finalized them yet. And I just had an expo with some of the people at FDACs, and one of them was on our panel, Ricardo, and he was saying that they're still working on getting those rules finalized. So very excited. We all know that while edibles and dietary supplements are a big part of the industry, as well as nutraceuticals, like you're going to talk about. Also, inhalables are a big part of the market as well. And I have a lot of clients that are selling flower, vapes, and other inhalable products. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, I think it will be exciting. And I think that inhalable naturals, if you will, is going to be a big market sector. Manny, talk a little bit about what Dustin did. Dustin opened the door. He talked about how the hemp farming is now getting towards its first grow. Tell me a little bit about your experience and why you'd be the guy to be involved with hemp with me.
I started growing hemp in 2012 with the Rocky Mountain Hemp Society, and then I had grown it in Europe prior to that. So I saw a great deal of potential in hemp for a long time ago, not just with a nutraceutical type product or health and wellness, but I saw it for health and wellness for the planet also, because it's being used as a plastic substitute. It's being used to build houses with hempcrete, a wood substitute that you would look at and you would think for sure it was wood, and drywall and insulation. So it's just got a tremendous amount of uses. I mean, there's one study I read about, you can grow a crop of hemp and you'll have enough paper that would take 7 years of trees to grow.
So, Manny, I know that hemp's got a lot of uses, but I really want to spend our short period of time today talking specifically about the hemp farm, where it is, why it is, and what it's going to do. And I'd like to, first of all, bring in Dr. Blyweiss. Dr. Blyweiss, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Jim. Give me a question.
You're going to get a question right now. Why do people use hemp in nutraceuticals, and what is a nutraceutical?
Nutraceutical, the word is what's called a portmanteau. A combination of two words that have a new meaning when it comes to one word, like brunch, breakfast and lunch, or a motel, motor and hotel. Nutraceutical is nutrition and pharmaceutical. So hemp can be referred, and the products we pull from there, cannabidiol, the oils, can be referred to as a nutraceutical or even a bioceutical. And classically, those are products that come from nature that can be used for health and wellness. And that's why we're using that.
That's tremendous. That's tremendous. I'm going to go back to Manny because we don't really go in order. I kind of jump around as my brain kind of connects. So, Manny, we're working with Dr. Blyweiss. We want to grow hemp. Where are we going to grow it and why?
Well, we've chosen Indiantown because we had a university study done on the place that would have the right temperature, the right environment, the right elevation, the right sunlight, everything for the environment that we want for what we're trying to do. The Indiantown corridor across the state was where we chose. And we also got with a grower who had experience in growing hemp since 1979.
What's the benefit of having somebody that's got experience growing hemp since 1975 in that gentleman's case, and that's our fourth partner who remains nameless at this point, unless you get our deck. But Manny, why?
Well, because it's like anything else. I mean, the more experience you've had with it, the more you can get at the problems that are going to come up every day. I mean, you know, I'm a 30-year farmer, a professional farmer and third generation family farmer. And you can plan every day, but when you go outside and look at the crop, you have to deal with what's going on with that day. And experience is what tells you that. And hemp hasn't been grown, you know, federally legal in the United States for well over 70 years. And there just aren't enough seeds. There's not enough knowledge. Your division of plant industry is pretty well, you know, they're starting to learn this also. They don't have a great deal of knowledge base. The USDA has very, very little knowledge base on this. You know, every time they put out a new rule, if you look at the rules, you'll see that they're erratically changed. And they're radically changed because, you know, somebody with growing experience told them, hey, you need to be doing it at a 30-day interval for harvesting, and you also need to raise the THC content allowable from 0.3 to 1%, because the plant goes through so many different phases of growth, and the THC content changes through those phases.
Manny, you hit something on the head I want to ask Dustin about. Now, Dustin, we were talking about the new regulations. Manny mentioned how it went from 3% from 0.03 to 1%. Can you tell me a little bit about what happens when something gets hot? What do you advise your clients if they have hot marijuana, hot cannabis, hot hemp? I had it the third time. Oh, even I make the mistake, Manny.
Yeah, well, technically, if it's hot, it's no longer hemp, so you're not entirely incorrect. Yeah, I mean, number one is to try not to go hot. Obviously, I mean, that is probably the last thing you want, is to go hot, because, you know, there are certain things you need to do with that entire lot that you have if you do go hot. But once you do go hot, one of there was really two changes that were made in the final rule, the USDA final rule. One of them gave some alternatives to if you go hot, as far as, you know, you don't necessarily have to destroy, and they provide multiple different methodologies for handling your hot product, including now potentially remediating that product, which is huge. And then the second item, which Manny kind of referenced, is increasing the allowable amount for criminal negligence up to 1%. So they made very clear that the number is still 0.3% total THC, but really what that 1% signifies, and it was in the temporary rules, it was 0.5%, and then it went up to 1%. But what that 1% really demonstrates is that they're not going to hold you criminally negligent if it goes up, if it's below 1%, and which is really necessary. And quite honestly, I think you know, they should probably increase that or just entirely get rid of it. At the end of the day, this is a crop that is pretty unpredictable, and we are just at the early stages. I've had several clients, unfortunately, go hot. That is a very real thing, and you know, the idea that they only have this small little window of going up to 1%, in my opinion, isn't very helpful. Although I will say, combine that with the 30-day window, it's important for people to understand you're testing the product 30 days prior to harvest, and a lot could happen within 30 days as far as the THC levels go. So some good changes in the interim rules. Did they go as far as I would like? Probably not, but there's still opportunity for the industry to continue to advocate and get the changes we need.
So Manny, we're talking about hot hemp plant. What does that mean, and why do we care? And what could be done if it does go hot? Is there a solution? And is it a risk for us as we grow our hemp? Because Dustin was talking about how nuanced hemp can be, and you, from our past discussions, have told me that the hemp reacts to its environment and changes. Help me out with this.
Positively. You can grow a strain of hemp in literally 3 parts of Florida, because there's 3 distinct zones in Florida, and they'll all be different. Some of them won't even. Some of them will not grow in region number 1 and region number 3. So you've got to do some experimentation and find the right strains. We also did a study in South Carolina using some PhD growers, and we grew 20 different strains of hemp from from Colorado, but they were really from 20 different areas. And we found that the hemp that grew the best in Colorado did not grow the best in Florida or South Carolina. It really didn't grow at all in terms of what you would want as a crop. That's why I went back to that. To me, in any type of business, really, knowledge and experience are the key factors in almost everything you do.
I want to stop right there. I want to go to a quick break, and then I want to come back and talk about the knowledge that Dr. Blyweiss brings to the table and what his past experience has been with creating hemp products. Reagan, take it away. We're going to come back. Everybody stick with us. This is going to be tremendous. I'm hot, but I'm not illegal. No, I had to say that. Hey now.
Jim.
All right, everybody. We're South Florida's longest running business talk show. And I want to thank our sponsors since 2012, our friends at Warren Henry. Thank you, Warren. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Eric. And thank you, Samantha. Oh, I got a brain cramp there. All right, everybody. When you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar up at 151st and Biscayne. Out in Gainesville on Main Street, they've got their Audi store, which has got tremendous vehicles. And down in the Keys at their store in Key West, they've got everything. What do they all have in common? Well, they're all great cars, and they all come with my famous Warren Henry Advantage. I got to get rid of the background so you can see that. Complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer. Best value guarantee, 72-hour exchange. What great stuff. So join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, and lots of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. I love doing that. You should be too. You can't see it. I'm using my finger. You should be too. Always the best price. Always the best service. Always Warren Henry.
This is Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. A lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
Wow, she just does great work for me. She'll do great work for you. I just referred her out to another client. She's been doing work for like 4 or 5 of my clients. She's amazing. Rebecca Carlson, Carlson Integrated. Go for it. Hey, and give me a call, Jim Freed, at 305-773-6300. Why? Because even though we're talking about the hemp farm, my day job is still helping people get real estate transactions done. I'm helping some guys that have owned land for a long time sell it to one of my top investors. We're going to close probably just a few weeks. Got another healthcare deal going. bridge loans plenty. So give me a call if I can help. 305-773-6300. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're here. We've been talking about hemp. We've been talking about hot hemp, cold hemp, this hemp, that hemp. It's not THC. It's hemp. We use it to make nutraceuticals. We're going to work with Manny Johnson and Dr. David Blyweiss and our grower partner to put it all together. We're talking about what does all that mean to you, Manny? We're back. And I wanted to talk to Dr. Blyweiss, but I think he's involved with one of his patients right now. Oh, there he is. Dr. Blyweiss, thank you so much. Let me ask you.
I just wanted to mention, something first. It's really important it's really important that the Indiantown Hemp Company, the farm, has the people that it has on it. We know that the primary source of CBD oil, and Manny can correct me if I'm wrong, is coming from China. And whether it's directly from China or China into Germany, they mislabel it. We're getting product that is a remediating product. Hemp will rid the soil of herbicides, pesticides, toxins. It's grown with terrible water that they've got there, and that's coming into the plant and then into the product and then into you. With what we're looking to do at the hemp farm in Indiantown with the people we have is to make the best organic product without any of those toxins, to have a full spectrum product, cannabidiol, cannabigerol, right, cannabichromine, cannabinol, and we'll be looking at what's called the entourage effect. You know, your people follow you. Well, the entourage effect, singular items together work even better. Think B complex, right? If you take B1 or B2, B6, B12, that's great, but they work better when they're all together. Same thing with vitamin A, D-alpha tocopherol. Well, that doesn't really work that well unless you have the 4 mixed tocopherols and the 4 mixed tocotrienols, and that's what we're looking to do here on the hemp farm, is to have the best product, to have the best entourage effect for the best effect for the human condition. And yes, I've been making products for decades. I'm an old clinical pharmacist and compound pharmacist. I used to get really a lot of enjoyment out of making things together. So when I met Manny, and we're talking years and years and years ago, and we've been talking about this for years, of what we would want a product to be that goes into our body. He had the right answers, the experience, and the contact information. In fact, the reason why I like what we're doing is that with the level of THC, whether it's 0.3, 0.9, 1%, you're getting more of a beneficial effect in that entourage effect. We did a study, not I, but we had a study done more than a decade ago for intractable cancer pain. And what they found was that those patients were not getting the relief they wanted from opiates. Plus, you had your side effects from the opiates. Then they gave people THC, got a little effect. The best effect they got, Jim, was with low THC and the cannabidiol in the hemp products, where it was a full spectrum, use everything in the plant, and they balanced everything out. So that's what we're looking to do, is to get the balanced effect of an entourage with what we're doing. So
I really want to go back to something you glossed over, and it's the fact that you were a compound pharmacist. I don't think people really know what that means and what that is. But people that need certain medications, sometimes it's bigger, smaller, customized, they can't go to CVS. They have to go to a compound pharmacist. And what does the compound pharmacist do, Dr. Blyweiss?
Compound pharmacist will take what the formulation, whether it's a doctor formulation or the pharmacy formulation, for you. One size does not fit all. Same thing with cannabidiol. One size does not fit all. So there are, and I've been making those products for a year, where you mix something with something else. It is not, it's not an unknown quantity. It's something we know works. I have patients still who cannot take a full dose of a certain medication. They have to take a dose that isn't out there. Big Pharma will use one dose for everybody or two doses for everybody.
Yeah, cut the pill in half.
Biochemical.
Cut the pill in half.
I'm
That's
sorry?
the answer.
Yeah, cut the pill in half, but it's still too strong for me. Now you have to go to a compound pharmacist. Or it's not strong enough. We'll take 2 of them or 3 of them. Well, it's $600 a month. For 90 of them, I can't do that. Go to a compound pharmacist. People are using testosterone cream or gel, and they may get it from Big Pharma. Well, there's side effects from that, not from the testosterone, but from the standardized FDA-approved vehicles that they put the testosterone in. Now, you've seen that on TV, whether it's Androgel, and it says, side effects may include this and this, including death. It's not from the product. It's from what Big Pharma is putting the product in to get onto your body. When you go to a compound pharmacist, they may be using a disappearing cream that has no side effects, but it had to be compounded. It had to be made specifically for you in that pharmacy. And it's not, and remember, as an old pharmacist, I did work in what used to be called Eckerd's. Do you remember Eckerd's drugstores?
Sure.
It was lick, stick, fill, and pour. And it got boring. It's one of the reasons I went to medical school. But compound pharmacy, there was an excitement to it. And that excitement is coming over into the Indiantown Hemp Company, where I can look at what the products are, what genetics are there in the cuttings we have and the plants we have, to make the product that I would take myself or that I would give to my family or friends. So
now, Manny, Dr. Blyweiss made a very big point there, but again, I think he went over it really, really fast. Let's talk about this for a second, Manny. People are buying CBD at their beauty salon, at CVS, at Walgreens, at the smoke shop. What's the problem with all this stuff?
Well, the problem with all of anything that you put in your body is that it has to be safe for human consumption. And you don't see on these labels, okay, safe for human consumption. You'll see on some of the bottles what they call a COA. There'll be a little barcode you can scan with your phone. It'll take you to a certificate of analysis that might be 2 years old. Okay, it's not what's in the bottle. Okay, there have been numerous studies that have been published in the Journal of American Medical Association, and this is not once, this is like 5 years in a row, to where they have gone, when I say the doctors have gone into medical cannabis clinics, and they've gotten products, they took them in, they tested them, and it seems to be around 84 to 85% of the labels are wrong. Okay.
Oh.
We're taking things that are a little bit, it's scary to me. It's always been scary. The first thing I ever said when I testified as a subject matter expert to a state setting up their regulations was medicines cannot contain poisons.
What do you mean?
Insecticides, pesticides, heavy metals are all poisons. Dr. Blyweiss brought up a great point that I don't know that everybody caught on to, and that is that hemp is a bioremediation product. Whatever you put into it, wherever you grow it, it is going to take the water, it's going to take the soil, it's going to take the fertilizers, it's going to take the pesticides and insecticides that you use. It's going to take all those things and pull them into the plant, and your CBD is going to be made from that. Or your flower is going to grow from that, or whatever is made from that particular plant. I mean, a great example is that hemp was grown at Chernobyl to get rid of some of the radiation effects they had there when they had the nuclear meltdown. So, I mean, we've got to approach this thing with science. And politics is one thing. I don't want to go into that, but I do want to go into science, and I want to go into the idea of always organic. Our products are the reason we're growing them, where we're growing them, and with the person we're growing them with, is because he doesn't know how to grow anything but organic.
Right.
All
So,
of our
Manny,
soils are organic.
Manny, let's take a break right here. We're going to take a break right here. We're going to come back. I want to talk to Dustin about the way the state's been addressing purity in the products. And then I'm going to talk to Manny and Dr. Blyweiss about what their products are going to look like, because they're going to be so pure. What are some of the issues they want to address with some of these cannabinoids? And they've only discovered or analyzed like 10 of like 150 or something, right, Manny?
Correct.
All right. Well, we'll be right back after this. We're going to talk about purity and what that means to you in hemp. Reagan Rocket. All right, everybody, we're South Florida's longest running business talk show. I want to thank all of our first responders, healthcare heroes, and other people that don't get enough credit. You're getting it from me. I also want to give credit to our friends at Warren Henry. They've been sponsors since 2012. We love them. Had their cars for the whole time. When you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. They're all great cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry advantage, as do their cars up in Gainesville, which are Audis, and in the Keys, they've got all their cars. Well, what's the Warren Henry advantage? The Warren Henry advantage is a suite of services you get, including complimentary loaner service, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, a 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 days to make sure you like your Warren Henry car. You will. All right, join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, lots of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. Love really does win, and being awesome does pay off. Look at me and Manny and Dr. Blyweiss. That's why we got together, because we're building this company on love and kindness. Is that not true, Manny?
Yeah, that's positively true.
All right.
And knowledge and experience.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Look at you. Look at you, Dr. B. Knowledge, experience, kindness, all the good things. Give me a call. That's what I like.
You didn't mention good looks, so I'll let you slip on.
That's in there too. We're going to work on all those good things, and we bring them all together. That's what I bring together when I do my business. So give me a call if I can help you with my real estate practice. We're doing residential mortgages. We're doing commercial mortgages. We're doing investment sales, all those great things, all with great positive energy. Give me a call if you want to be part of it. 305-773-GETS-ME, Jim Freed. And why would you call me? Because when you call me, you know it by now, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're back. We're back with Dustin Robinson, Mr. Cannabis Attorney. We're on with Manny Johnson, Mr. Everything with cannabis, hemp. He knows it all. And Dr. David Blyweiss, who makes all the good stuff that we can take to make us well. Dustin, we were talking about purity in some of the products. I know that the governmental authorities here in the state of Florida are very, focused on making sure that what's out there is pure. What is the law behind all that?
Yes, so our Department of Agriculture is also the Department of Consumer Services. So we're the Florida Department of Ag and Consumer Services. So not only do they have responsibility over the agriculture, but they do have responsibility over the consumer services. And we are one of the only states where the Department of Ag is regulating the entire supply chain. So they are regulating both from a growing perspective, a processing perspective, and a retail perspective. So I think that's a good thing to have one agency overseeing the entire thing. And of course, Commissioner Freed has done a tremendous job making sure that we're putting out the best products possible. From a federal perspective, the USDA originally was going to require testing labs to have DEA registration. They delayed that, and now in this final rule, they actually are saying that that's not going to be enforceable until 2022, which a lot could happen between now and 2022. So it's possible we never actually see that requirement happen. But we do know that also the Department of Ag has been pulling products off the shelf to test to make sure they are of a certain purity level. And we have had issues in early 2018, I believe, and some further issues in 2019, where in Florida we were having lead come up in the products. And I know the Department of Ag has been relatively quiet about, what they're doing with that. But I have heard that they are doing some stuff to ensure that the products here in Florida do not have lead issues. And really, that's obviously not an issue that's specific to Florida. That's really throughout the country, really. I think we just did the due diligence to make sure we caught it and we knew about it. Jim, it looks like you wanted to cut me off. Go ahead. I'm not going to interrupt you on your own show.
That's all right. Well, we got other people to talk to too, Dustin. I could do a whole show with you. Come on. So, Manny, now we know that the Department of Ag wants everything to be pure. We know that a lot of times it's not. One of the focuses of the new hemp farm that you and I and Dr. B are putting together is going to be purity. Talk about how we're going to maintain purity, and then I want Dr. B to talk about how important that is to his products.
Well, I think you start off again, knowledge and experience, okay? Knowledge and experience. There are some farmers who never learned how to grow any other way but organically. I happen to have been one of them because my grandfather taught me how to grow, and they didn't have pesticides back then. They didn't have the fertilizers they had. They had composting, they had organic soils, they had microbials in the soils. So, that's what we're about. We're about using organic soils. We don't, we're not growing them we're not growing them in your traditional way that you would think that a hemp farmer might be growing. We're growing differently.
Okay. Well, we don't need to give any trade secrets out right now.
I'm not going to do that in any way, shape, or form. But I would tell you that we are using, we're not using your typical fertilizers, because your fertilizers will definitely, you start throwing fertilizers on plants and they are definitely going to create salts, and those salts are going to get on the roots, and the roots are going to stop absorbing certain elements that they need to make a plant healthy. The word organic is being used a lot of times as an adjective instead of a certification, and products are going to be USDA certified organic or OMRI certified. And OMRI is Organic Materials Research Institute. They are it's an international organization, and it is accepted by the by the USDA's National Organic Program, which is also referred to as NOPE, and the USDA organic certification is under the NOPE program. So NOPE is the umbrella for everything.
I want to talk to Dr. B and talk about how important having purity in your ingredients is. We know you're making nutraceuticals. Explain what that is again, Dr. B, and how important it is to have the right ingredients and what could go wrong if you had some impurities.
Yeah, a nutraceutical combination of, nutrition and pharmaceutical. Right. If you don't have a pure product, every time that you have another molecule in there that you have no idea how it's going to react with other molecules in the same plant or in the human body, you have to throw caution to the wind. And when you're growing a product that is not in a pure environment or not in a living environment, you really can't tell what's going to happen with it in adverse events, side effects that may occur, days, weeks, or months down the road. You have to keep it as pure as you can. I need it as pure as you can. So when I look at the chemical compositions, I know what I'm looking at. I don't have to worry about that there is Eagle 20 or toxic water that is feeding it, or that it is dead dirt. You can have organically raised strawberries, but it's being grown organically in dead dirt. There's no microbial population that the soil needs to go into the roots of the plant. Manny made a good point about that. If you're not getting what you need from the earth, from the planet into the plant, it's not going into the human body the way you want it. So when we're making pure, organically raised products, then we know what's coming out the other end, and we can modify and work with jigging the levels of certain of the 100 compounds that we know we're going to work with at least.
Now, when you put the compounds together, how do you know what reaction you're going to get?
No one knows exactly what reaction. We do know that the non-psychoactive portion of the hemp plant, whether it's going to be CBD, CBDA, CBN, CBG, none of these are psychoactive, but we know that some of them classically help treat certain medical conditions, whether it's going to be seizures, anxiety, chronic pain. Now, the problem with the DHEA, DHSEA, Dietary Health Supplement Act of 1994, is that you really cannot say when you get to the marketing portion of that it diagnoses, treats a disease. We can only say what it is, perhaps what it is known for, and let people understand that they're taking a pure product that's not going to cause some adverse event. It's going to help them maintain a homeostasis or make the endocannabinoid system work a little bit better. Since we have those receptors everywhere in our body, we're supplementing that. I think that's where we're coming from. It is a nutraceutical supplement for maintaining health in the human body.
Now, Manny, that portion of the nutraceutical is typically made from the flower or bud. There's a whole plant that's left when you're done. What do you do with that?
I'm going to be very careful in answering that question, in that there are different chemicals that have been found in different parts of the plants, that some may not be THC or CBD related, that have some pretty interesting effects.
So that's the entourage effect that he's talking about, when you get all the different components together and put it together so that it works better. And since you're not having the psychoactive effect, it's not masking the feel-good effect. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, the idea behind if you look at what's going on with the marijuana industry, what are you seeing? You're seeing people make higher and higher and higher doses of THC. That's really what it's about. It's discouraging to me because I got into this because I like the idea of the seizure disorder prevention and the chronic pain prevention and some of the benefits. I wasn't really looking into this as to see how stoned I could get people and see if I could remove them from, the reality of society. I'm saying that every one of the medical cannabis places are doing that, but the thing is, look at your marijuana. They've got your cannabis cups. Look at your testing labs. Look on Facebook pages and see. They'll say, oh, so-and-so lab has, whatever the strain is, and it's 26% THC or 31% THC. Okay? I'm not looking at the THC because to me, it just leads to paranoia. For me, I look at the CBD because it gives me a sense of well-being. And that sense of well-being doesn't have anything to do with mental abilities. So that's what I look for in it. The entourage effect that Dr. Blyweiss had mentioned earlier is very well founded. I mean, we don't understand it because we haven't been able to study it long enough. But we do understand that if you use a full spectrum, cannabidiol product, it works better than if you use an isolate. And you can look in every medical study you want to look at or any scientific publication, and you're not going to find them or studies that have been done on them that are going to validate anything that's being done with them right now.
Manny, let's hold it right there. Because I want to talk in the last part about the entourage effect, wellness, and I also want to bring it together about who everybody is again. So everybody can stay with me for one more segment, right? Dustin, all good with you? Awesome. All right, Reagan, take it away. We're going to talk about the cars for Warren Henry and stuff. Then we'll come right back and we're going to talk about the entourage effect and hemp versus CBD one last time, and why this isn't about getting high. This is about wellness. Reagan, rock it. Everybody, I want to remind everybody that we're Read on Business. We're South Florida's longest running business talk show, going on a long time. I love that generalization there. Remember our sponsors, Warren Henry. We love them. We were there last week giving them a thank you. Look for our video that we shot there. Reagan will probably have it out, I would hope, this week. You heard that, Reagan. So there you go. You just got both. All right, everybody. When you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar up at 151st and Biscayne. Down in the Keys, they sell them all. Up in Gainesville, that's the Audi store. What do they all have in common? Well, they're all great cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. That's a group of services they give you. Complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, 72-hour exchange. Oh, that's some great stuff. Join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, lots of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Remember, this week is Supercar Saturday up at the Pembroke Pines Mall. Go out and see them all there. Remember, always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
This is Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. A lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
Can't wait till Manny Johnson does his commercial. That'll sound great. There you go. I got him to laugh. Okay, everybody. Hey, it's Jim Fried. I make Manny Johnson laugh. I help David Blyweiss achieve his goals and dreams, and I help Dustin Robinson talk about hemp and cannabis and all that other stuff. And I want to help you too. My brand is I help other people. I self-actualize by helping other people achieve their dreams. So call me and let me help you achieve your dreams. If you're buying a house and you're having a problem, I can help you get the loan. If you're buying a piece of real estate and having a problem with the financing, I can help you get the loan. If you're looking for a piece of real estate but can't find it, I can help you find it. What do? I solve problems. So give me a call at 305-773-6300. Got a call from one of the families in town just today, meeting them at 4 o'clock in Wynwood. Call me. Why? Because when you call me, it is always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
That's me, Jim Freed1. We're here with Dustin Robinson, cannabis attorney. We're here with Manny Johnson, expert in all things cannabis. And we're here with Dr. David Blyweiss, compound pharmacist and knowledgeable nutraceutical formulator. We've only got a few minutes left, so I really want to go through it. Manny, quick hitters. Why Indiantown? Why David Blyweiss?
Environment. The Indiantown environment in that corridor is what we are looking for to grow the type of hemp products that we want to grow.
Why David Blyweiss?
And David Blyweiss is because of his knowledge and experience in plant medicines and creating nutraceuticals for decades.
Dr. B, why Manny Johnson?
I don't have time to describe the reasons why Manny Johnson is the perfect partner for this. Manny Johnson, brilliant, experienced, ethical, moral, human being, kind, loving, helpful, knows more about cannabis than anyone I've ever met on such a wide range of topics that the PhDs in plant medicine and biochemistry go to him to ask his opinion. He's the guy.
Well, he's the man now. Dustin, why Florida?
And Florida is going to be the biggest market for cannabis, I think, in the entire world. When you talk about our population of 20 million, we have a tourist population of almost 130 million. Currently, obviously, we only have medical marijuana. I think recreational marijuana is around the corner. Hopefully, we'll get that out in 2022. I think people who are doing hemp right now will have tremendous opportunities as that rolls out. I mean, you guys are obviously going to be putting in some of the top cultivation methodologies and processing methodologies, and the research you're going to be doing is really going to apply to the cannabis plant in general. You know, obviously you guys are focused on CBD right now, but I don't see any reason why you and some of the other hemp players couldn't also get involved in this industry that's going to be enormous in the coming years. So Florida's a great market, and of course the temperature. You know, you could grow year round, which is super unique right now. With it being cold, most states right now can't be growing hemp, but I have clients all over Florida that are currently growing, and they're growing some great product.
Well, that's great. That's a really good summary, Dustin, and I really do appreciate it, because our second phase will be to come up with other products that will create different opportunities for different people in Florida. I think that what we want to end with is that this is really about not only health and wellness, but quality jobs and careers for people. We're going to grow this company. We're going to be bringing in scientists and people that are going to help have careers helping us make these products. I could envision having a business park surrounding us at some point with all the different people spinning off. So it's really just the start. It all starts with the organic grow of our partner. It all starts with the organic focus of Manny Johnson. It all starts with the purity focus of Dr. David Blyweiss. Manny, why is this your dream?
Well, I think everything in my life has sort of come to this culmination point. Like I said, when I was a child, both of my grandparents on both sides were farmers, and so I got involved in farming very early, and then I built a nursery that had farms on 3 continents at the same time. And I supplied every major chain store, every major grocery store with plant products. And I just got to learn a lot about it. And I've always loved it. I love growing organically. I am a fanatic about going into a grocery store, and I have a lot of ideas that I think should be done. Like I think every product in a grocery store should say somewhere on that product, safe for human consumption. One of my little pet peeves. I mean, it's like when I testify, the first thing I say, medicines can't be poisons. Dr. Blyweiss mentioned real quickly, and I'm going to do this real quickly. He mentioned the chemical Eagle 20. I have seen Eagle 20 at so many medical cannabis places, it makes me sick.
What is it?
It's hydrogen cyanide when you light it.
So you're telling me that they're putting cyanide in the hemp and the cannabis?
There have been numerous people in University of California, San Francisco area, the medical cannabis dispensaries and the adult use places now that have literally bought a joint, gone out to the car, lit it, and 3 people died.
Oh, my God.
About that. Nobody's talking about it, but it's happened. And it's not happened once or twice. Eagle 20 is a vicious drug. It was never designed for human consumption. Its active ingredient is hydrogen cyanide. When you light the end of a marijuana cigarette, that red part is 800 degrees.
Wow.
It's hydrogen cyanide gas.
Dr. B, why did you get into this?
I've always been a nerd for molecules. And even in pharmacy school, in the pharmacognosy classes where we're looking at plant-based products for medication, we forget that 75% of all drugs up until 1975 came from plants. But it was the molecules I was interested in. That when you moved some molecules around, you got a different product. And that's what I'm hoping we'll be able to continue here with research and development on the molecules of the 100 or so cannabinoids, and then the 150 terpenes, et cetera, and the flavonoids, each one of them having different therapeutic effects. Think lavender with a calming effect, or certain flavonoids that are anti-inflammatory and neuroprotective. Once you begin to look at the molecules, how they interact, you'll be amazed at what God has put out there for us to use to our benefit and our health.
Yeah, I'm a molecule nerd too. I like the Nova thing where they talk about the different molecules coming together and doing things like creating fire and stuff like that. It's just tremendous. We're going to end the show now. Dustin, I want to thank you so much for joining us this time. I want to thank Jure Ross for putting it together for us with you. And we're going to look forward to having you again as our legal expert on this. Manny Johnson, one of many appearances. You'll be on again in the future with me talking about the hemp business as it continues to grow. Dr. David B., you'll be on again when we talk about some of the new products that you're going to be putting together. And Reagan, you're always on helping me look good, even though you never move on that picture. I love you, man. So this is me where I end the show. I want to thank everybody. I want to shout out the first responders, the healthcare heroes, all the people out there. Thanks to our sponsors, Warren Henry, Creco AI, Carlson Integrated, the NFL Alumni Association, the Bergstrom Center for Real Estate Studies. I said Warren Henry, didn't I? I want to thank you, the listener. Without you, why would I do this? Because I love it, but I still really need the listeners. Please go to our Facebook page and all the other social pages. Like our show, share our show, tell your friends. This show will be up in a raw form immediately and in the polished form sometime later today or tomorrow. Join our community. Give us feedback and comments. Tell us who you want to hear from. Tweet at me, Jim Freed, Freed on Business, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, the website, Twitter, Twitch, all that stuff. We're everywhere. If you missed today's show, it'll be up real quick on freedombusiness.com. This is Jim Freed, Freed on Business. Look for us next week at noon. We're going to talk about the office market. Oh, boy, is that going to be good. People are going to want CBD after that. Remember, I love doing this. You should love listening. Remember, the person who wants to do something finds a way. The other finds an excuse. Now go out there and make it happen. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. I'm out of here.